Right, hi everyone. So this is it's one of the first sets that I was taught by my teacher Michael, and I remember the first class. This is what he was teaching us, and it comes from a set called the 9 sections, and it breaks the body into sections. So you've got the joints rather, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9. So we're looking in this video at the first 3. So we're looking in particular because as people start to approach the challenge of having to fight with a two-handed weapon, the ability to rotate the arm along the axis is pretty essential, because again, as you change the angle of the cutting attacks that you're delivering, if you can't rotate the arms freely, then you're always going to be sort of striking with the flat of the blade, and it can cause some problems. So I'm injured. I've had this injury since November, and because we're in lockdown, I can't get to see my osteopath, the bone whisperer Lynn Haller. If you can find him, he can fix you. So I'm using these qigongs to reseat the head of the radius where it's slightly inflamed because of an injured tendon just above it, and it means that the whole arm isn't quite happy there. And these exercises, I'm not doing them to release the muscular tension, which is what so many other people are discovering. I'm doing it to sort of tease the head of the radius back into its socket so that it sits nicely, and then the swelling will come down, and by this evening I'll be able to brush my teeth with my left hand, right? So here we go. The first 3 sections of the 9 sections. Foundations: up and down, breathe, balanced and relaxed. Get these right, otherwise it's just aerobics otherwise. Okay, from here I'm reaching out, I'm pointing my fingers all the way to the horizon in the distance, and from here what I'm going to do is each hand is going to rotate as if I had laser pointers. I'm drawing circles in the distance with my fingers. So it's not my fingers doing this, I'm not doing this kind of thing. It's just a small rotation in the joint of the wrist, one way, and the other way. Checking my feet, checking my bum, lifting my head, breathing to the belly, and then quietly just allowing these rotations to continue from the wrist. Now, once we start these exercises, you are not allowed to lower your hands until you finish them at all, right? You have to maintain. I'm going through them quite quickly. I'm not planning a particular length of time. Number 2, open the arms out to the side, and it's exactly the same. So I'm reaching to the horizon to the left and the right, and I'm just going to rotate from the wrist very lightly. It's not a big movement. I'm teasing the joint. I'm trying to convince it to release more synovial fluid to protect the joint. Shoulders are down, bum is down, breathing to the belly. Yeah, I'm not locking any joints, keeping them soft, and change the direction, go around the other way. So it's a small rotation from the wrist. And now we change again. And we're going to use, it's the same movement, but now it comes from the shoulder. Okay, so I'm making circles in the distance with lines coming off my entire arm, and I'm just rotating in the shoulder one way and the other, and you will discover quite rapidly this hurts. It's okay. It doesn't hurt too much. It just tells you that you're exercising and that it's not used to it. And we're going to change the direction. I'll show you from the side. And again, the shoulders are going to start to complain. They want to climb, but you have to keep them down. The bum wants to come out back, the chest wants to puff up. You have to maintain those foundations that we've talked about so many times in the earlier sections, the earlier videos. And now, number 3, bring the left palm above the head and the right palm above the left. This is a great move, right? It's really saved my days quite a few times, and it's incredibly useful in the sword syllabus. One hand goes backward, one hand goes forwards until you arrive halfway, and then they continue. And in this instance, my left hand is ploughing forwards, my right hand goes backwards, halfway at the same time, and then again over the top to here. And notice we haven't put our hands down since we began these exercises, and we're not going to either. We're going to keep these hands above our shoulders, forwards and backwards. Drop the bum, breathe to the belly. More oxygen means less lactic acid. Less lactic acid means less pain. Still some pain, but you know, manageable because you're breathing. Do I care about the breath matching with the movement? Not at all. Not at all. Just move naturally. Just breathe naturally. And now what I'm going to do is, where this rotation initially has been from the elbows, we're now going to open out and start using the shoulders. And you can see as soon as I start doing that, the hips get involved, because the hips love to get involved, right? And now I'm using a huge range of movement from the shoulders. I'm extending and flexing the elbows, and there's a small amount of movement at the wrists as well. And we're going to change the direction. So we bring it back to the above, and we're not dropping the hands, keep them up. The right palm is going to go forwards, the left is going backwards to here and around, again and around, and again and around. At the beginning, just from the elbows, make sure the shoulders are heavy, make sure the chest is heavy, make sure the bum is heavy. Breathe through the belly, lift the head to the sky, balanced equally in the feet. It's a mother stance posture. And relax. Oh, but it hurts. I know, still relax. Just breathe. Breathe. It's not that bad, it's just uncomfortable. And now expand the movement again, all the way through, to use the entire range of movement in the shoulders. And again, you'll notice that the waist starts to creep in and get involved. Halfway together, back over the head together, beginning together, synchronized, unified. And then from here, you want to put your arms down, right? But you can't, because you're going to bring them out in front, palm to palm, praying palms position. And what we're going to do, this is opening the book. So as you inhale now, bring the fingers over the top, keep the elbows up at the height of the shoulder, drop the fingers underneath, and as the breath leaves the body, stretch. I'm going to breathe in, but breathe softly. You shouldn't be able to hear it. You should only be able to feel it. Notice I don't drop my elbows. I keep them up at the height of my shoulders. I drop my shoulders instead. They want to come up, but you're in control. So you're going to tell them to drop. The bum wants to come up, but you're in charge. So you're going to tell it to drop. The head wants to collapse, but you're in charge. So you're going to lift it up to connect to the stars. Really, I want you to focus on this extension here, right? Shoulders down, elbows soft, reaching out while the fingers, it's back of hand to back of hand. This is a huge rotation of the forearms, which induces a release in those muscles and a softening of the ligaments. And an increased range of movement, and obviously we're going to reverse the direction. So now you close the book, keeping the elbows elevated, shoulders sinking underneath. Over the top, breathing in and out. Following the breath. Let the breath guide the movements. Don't force the breath to follow what you're doing with your hands. Do it the other way. Make the hands follow the natural movements of the breath. Now, from here, for the first time, the hands come back down, and now you're going to move the shoulders. So I'm going to lift them up and over, and as I release the breath, forwards and down, and lift them up and over. Forwards and down. And nothing's complete unless we reverse the direction. So from here, up and over, and then backwards and down. So, from the top, very lightly. Hold palms out, little circles. Little circles. Arms out to the side, little circles. Little circles. From the shoulders, slightly bigger circles. Reverse the direction. Above the head, little circles that become big circles. And again, you're going to reverse the direction. Little circles, and they become big circles. And then from here, praying palms into opening the book. And closing the book. Now, if you set an alarm and do each of these exercises for 3, 4, 5 minutes, you know, you could spend half an hour just going through these 5 exercises. They will burn. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down, and change the direction. Up, back and down. Yeah. Simple stuff. It's not rocket science. You just need to appreciate there's principles that underpin the exercises. Check the foundations. If you're not doing that, it's just aerobics, which, you know, it's fun, it's good for you, it's healthy, but it's not qigong, and the value to your combat will be limited. If you train these exercises correctly, such that you keep the shoulder correct, even though you're taking this variety of movements from the wrist and the elbow, you should find that will start to translate into the way you articulate the weapon, and it all comes together nicely. Right? So, first 3 sections of the 9 sections, I would say, you know, they're excellent warm-ups before you begin any work with the saber. If you have time, do them once a day, 15 minutes, no harm. All right, take care.